Hey, it's Robin, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about why I'm decluttering. You've probably seen some of my posts about how amazing I feel now when I open my underwear drawer. It really makes me feel happy. But I want to talk to you a little bit about why you started, because I've had a few comments from people saying, it looks great, I'm just not ready yet, I'm not there yet. And I get it, because that was me for a long time. I really tried to be okay with just having my house a disaster and having people come over, and it was embarrassing, but I just tried to let it go. My husband's a pilot, so he has odd hours, so he often invites people over for coffee or whatever. Well, I might come home from dropping the kids off at the bus, and somebody might be here, so I don't always have any notice. And so, it can be really embarrassing when my house is not tidy, which most of the time it's not. And so I tried to be okay with it, but I can't be. And I got to the point where I just needed to make a change. And so why make a change? How do you get to that point? And I think you have to think about what clutter costs you, because it really does cost you a lot. It costs you a lot of stress. Like, you can always feel that, it's like, I don't know, it's like stuff has it takes some of your brain or your mental energy. It makes me tired because I think it uses my mental energy up, just having all this stuff around. I work from home, so I'm here a lot all the time, and it's hard to focus on what I'm supposed to be doing when there's all this chaos and disorganization around me. It wears me down, so it makes it even harder for me to make decisions. I already have a hard enough time making decisions, so hey, Johanna. And so it's the more energy I have for that, the better. It's really important. And I do a lot of things in my life to, yeah, you agree, hey, Sybil? Yeah, it's so true. I do a lot of things in my life to get energy. Like, I really focus on eating clean and sleep and exercise, and all that stuff really helps me with energy. And I've just been feeling like I'm dragging lately, and I think this is a big part of it, because when I try to figure it out, what's going on, it just, that's what keeps coming back to me, is that it's just, I need to deal with my environment. So, it actually does cost money too if your place is in chaos. Like, we have a bill right now we can't find. And so it's, if it ends up being late, it's going to cost us late fees, right? So late fees can add up. It's things like not being able to find things. So like, polysporin is, I don't know, it's like this crazy thing that you can never find it when you need it, and then it's like in every drawer when you're not looking for it. And so, so far I found 3 tubes, and now they have a home, so hopefully this problem will be alleviated, because that's part of it, is having a home. But then, if you go out and buy a new tube of polysporin every time you need one, it's costing you money, and that's not the only thing I've found multiples of. And there's been times where I'm like, I know I have this, and I just can't find it. It's super frustrating. And I'm often late. Like, so if I'm meeting you, it's probably really frustrating for the person I'm meeting, but I'm late because, lots of times I can't find something, or, something I'm doing takes me longer because there's something that I end up dealing with just because of the chaos. And, it costs a lot in terms of endless tidying. Like, I have spent a lot of time tidying, and, I'll spend and this just happened when it was my daughter's birthday party a couple weeks ago. I spent like 2 days and cleaned the house from top to bottom, tidied, and within 5 minutes of the party being over, the stuff had exploded everywhere. And it's frustrating because you're putting in that time. You feel like you're just basically wasting your time chasing clutter. So that's when I was like, okay, we have to get rid of this stuff because tidying it isn't working. Yeah, you lose books. I know. Yeah, exactly. And if you go buy another book, it's expensive. Or, if you can't find, what it affects us too is in the morning in the school routine. They do have a certain place they're supposed to put their sweaters, but we're not always consistent, and so they're not always consistent. So sometimes it's like, oh my God, we're going to miss the bus because we can't find their school sweater, because we wear school uniforms, so it's not like they can wear a different sweater. They have to wear that sweater. But yeah, and then I'm yelling at my kids because they're not tidying up, and they probably feel as overwhelmed as I do. I feel like I'm always behind. And so anyway, this was why I decided to make a change. And I think there's a lot of really good reasons to declutter. And you know, sometimes you just need a little support. So I'm very lucky in that I have a good friend, Jana, who is helping me with this. And you know, papers are a huge thing for me. And actually, papers have always been a huge thing for me. Some of the other stuff, not so much, because we used to move every 2 to 3 years. Sometimes even 1 year. With my husband being a pilot, he'd get a new job and we'd go somewhere different and we'd move our whole, you know, small apartment. And I would just get rid of anything that we hadn't used since our last move, because clearly we didn't need it. And it was just the two of us. We didn't really have that much stuff. And so, you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. And we had sort of those landmarks for getting rid of stuff. And then we had kids and I got overwhelmed. And, you know, we just got more and more and more stuff that wasn't really mine. So I don't really know how to deal with it. And I wanted my kids to have everything, so I gave them too much stuff. Like, I wanted them to have all the stuff I didn't have as a kid. Big mistake. Wish I could go back and redo that. But anyway, so, you know, and then we had a house cleaner. And I actually think this is where part of my bad habit started, was that she would come to clean and I would be like, oh my gosh, we have to clean. We have to tidy up so she can actually do the cleaning, right? Like she has to be able to see the surface to be able to wipe it down. So it would be like stuff everything in the drawers or the closets or whatever so she can vacuum and she can clean the bathrooms and all that stuff. And then actually that's why I stopped having her come, even though she was amazing at cleaning, because I felt like this stuff was building up and it was sort of starting to feel like it wasn't even clean after she left because there was just so much clutter. And I did do a big thing. I never quite finished, but I did start decluttering, and then I totally fell off because I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. And I think I had not solved those habits of just shoving stuff out of sight, which when I went through my bathroom was pretty clear that's what I've been doing. So I had some shocking amount of stuff in there. And so, you know, I think now it's partially changing habits and partially, you know, that we've been in this house for 13 years now. We haven't moved and we haven't had that, you know, that impetus to go through stuff and get it out. Like, you know, it was much easier for me when we had that happening. So now I feel totally committed. Like, I feel like I'm gonna just go through it and do it, even though it is 100% overwhelming. And I think that's why a lot of people don't get started, because it feels overwhelming. It feels overwhelming to me too, but it doesn't feel any more overwhelming than just living like this on a day-to-day basis. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope, you know, comment and let me know if you guys feel the same way. Hopefully I'm not alone in this, and hopefully in a few months, hopefully not too many, we'll see how it goes, my house will be an amazing, organized, you know, what's the word? Like oasis that I feel comfortable in and I love to be in. Because I actually am a homebody and I love to stay home. It's like my favorite thing. If I have a day where I don't have to go anywhere, I love that. But in a messy house, it's taking some of that joy out of it. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day and thanks so much for tuning in.